8 key signs of emotional immaturity in adult women, how to identify and overcome it. Emotional maturity is often regarded as one of the most valuable traits in adulthood. It plays a key role in shaping our relationships, career paths, and overall well-being. However, emotional maturity doesn't automatically come with age or life experience. In fact, some adults find themselves stuck in patterns of emotional immaturity that prevent them from fully living up to their potential. Emotional growth is essential to personal development, yet it's often overlooked or misunderstood. If you've ever wondered whether you or someone you know is struggling with emotional growth, this blog will shed light on the common signs of emotional immaturity in adult women, drawn from psychological principles. We'll also explore how to recognize these signs and, most importantly, how to move forward toward emotional maturity. 1. Unresolved past trauma, the roots of emotional immaturity. Emotional maturity begins with the capacity to face the past honestly, particularly childhood experiences and unresolved trauma. Women who haven't fully emotionally matured often carry scars from their past that have not been fully processed. These may be experiences of abuse, neglect, or emotional neglect, and they can manifest as chronic feelings of insecurity, mistrust, or anxiety. These past wounds may also cause a woman to exhibit self-sabotaging behaviors, such as pushing away healthy relationships, avoiding vulnerability, or struggling to form deep emotional connections. The unresolved emotional turmoil can present itself as a defense mechanism, either through anger, numbness, or an excessive desire for control. How to address this? Healing from past trauma is not a linear journey. It takes time, professional support such as therapy or counseling, and deep self-reflection. Journaling, mindfulness practices, and emotional awareness exercises can also help in this process. By acknowledging the past, rather than suppressing it, a woman can begin the path toward emotional growth. 2. Lack of accountability, shifting blame rather than owning actions. One of the clearest signs of emotional immaturity is a refusal to take accountability for one's actions. A woman who struggles with emotional maturity may deflect blame, make excuses, or project her shortcomings onto others. This inability to accept responsibility often results in frustration in personal and professional relationships. For example, in a conflict, rather than considering her own role in the issue, an emotionally immature woman might focus solely on the perceived faults of others. She may struggle to apologize or own up to mistakes, which can damage relationships and erode trust. How to address this? Accountability is a skill that requires awareness, honesty, and vulnerability. Start by taking a moment to reflect before reacting to challenging situations. Practice apologizing and taking responsibility for mistakes, no matter how small. Understanding that everyone makes mistakes, and that taking accountability doesn't equate to weakness is crucial for growth. 3. Difficulty managing emotions, impulsive reactions, and emotional roller coasters. Emotional regulation is a hallmark of maturity. For emotionally immature women, emotions can feel like a roller coaster, intense, unpredictable, and overwhelming. They may react impulsively to minor triggers, often overreacting to situations that others might find manageable. Extreme emotional responses, such as excessive anger or overwhelming sadness, may come to the surface without any apparent reason, leaving others confused and exhausted. The inability to manage emotions often stems from an unprocessed emotional history and a lack of coping mechanisms. Emotional maturity involves the ability to sit with uncomfortable feelings and to respond thoughtfully, rather than impulsively. How to address this? Emotional regulation can be learned through mindfulness practices, breathing exercises, and self-soothing techniques. Techniques such as the stop, breathe, think method allow individuals to pause before reacting. Therapy, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can help reframe negative thought patterns and teach strategies for emotional control. 4. Unstable relationships, avoidance and unrealistic expectations. Women who struggle with emotional growth often find it difficult to maintain healthy, stable relationships. This can stem from several factors, including difficulty with trust, avoidance of vulnerability, and a tendency to sabotage relationships. Because they may fear being hurt, women who are emotionally immature might push others away, intentionally or unintentionally. Furthermore, emotionally immature women may set unrealistic expectations for their partners, friends, and family. They might expect others to meet their emotional needs without offering the same level of care or consideration in return. This imbalance can lead to disappointment and frustration on both sides. How to address this? Building emotionally mature relationships starts with clear communication and understanding one's own emotional needs. Therapy can help individuals work through trust issues and establish healthy boundaries. Fostering mutual respect and compromise in relationships is essential to long-term success. Learning how to give and receive love healthily is crucial to overcoming emotional immaturity. 5. Fear of change, stubbornness in the face of growth. Change is inevitable, and those who embrace it grow emotionally and psychologically. However, emotionally immature women often resist change, whether it pertains to their career, relationships, or personal habits. The fear of the unknown can be paralyzing, causing them to stay stuck in unhealthy situations or avoid opportunities for personal development. This resistance to change may manifest as a reluctance to take risks or try new things, even when staying stagnant could lead to greater dissatisfaction in the long run. Emotionally immature women may become rigid in their thinking, unable or unwilling to adjust their beliefs or behavior. How to address this? Overcoming the fear of change requires a willingness to step outside one's comfort zone. Start by taking small steps toward change, such as exploring new hobbies or making minor adjustments in daily routines. Reframing change as an opportunity for growth and learning can reduce the anxiety associated with it. 6. Reckless decision-making, impulsive and short-sighted choices. A common trait of emotional immaturity is the inability to make thoughtful, deliberate decisions. Rather than considering long-term consequences, emotionally immature women might make hasty choices that satisfy immediate desires but lead to regret down the line. This might include poor financial decisions, relationship choices, or career moves made in the heat of the moment. The inability to see the bigger picture often stems from a lack of emotional regulation and self-control. Impulsive behavior is often linked to an unmet need for validation or instant gratification. How to address this? Mindful decision-making involves pausing before acting and considering all possible outcomes. Journaling or speaking with a trusted friend or counselor before making big decisions can help slow down the process and ensure that choices align with long-term goals. Building self-control and learning to delay gratification are key components of emotional maturity. 7. Tendency to play the victim, feeling powerless in one's own life. Emotionally immature women often adopt a victim mentality, where they perceive themselves as constantly being wronged or oppressed. This mindset prevents them from taking control of their lives and can lead to frustration, resentment, and a lack of self-confidence. Instead of addressing problems directly or taking steps to improve their situation, they may feel helpless and resigned to their circumstances. This attitude not only holds them back, but also negatively impacts their relationships, as others may grow frustrated with the constant negativity and lack of proactive behavior. How to address this? Empowerment begins with shifting the perspective from victimhood to self-efficacy. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, emotionally mature individuals recognize their ability to change their circumstances. Therapy can help reframe a victim mindset and encourage a more positive, action-oriented outlook. 8. Unrealistic expectations of others. The search for perfection. Finally, emotionally immature women often hold unrealistic expectations of others, which can cause tension and disappointment. They may expect perfection from friends, family, or partners, overlooking their own flaws while demanding that others be flawless. This tendency stems from a desire to feel validated and cherished, but it often results in frustration when others inevitably fall short of these unattainable standards. Emotionally mature women understand that everyone has imperfections and that healthy relationships are built on empathy, compromise, and understanding. How to address this? Building emotional maturity involves self-reflection and recognizing the humanity in others. Start by lowering unrealistic expectations and practicing gratitude for the efforts and contributions of those around you. Accepting imperfections fosters deeper, more compassionate relationships. Conclusion? The path to emotional maturity. Emotional immaturity is not a permanent state. It's a challenge that can be addressed and overcome with dedication, self-reflection, and professional support. By recognizing these signs in yourself or others, you can begin the journey toward emotional growth. With patience and the willingness to face one's emotional wounds, emotional maturity is attainable. The key is starting the process and being gentle with yourself along the way. Are you ready to take the first step? Embrace the journey of self-awareness, growth, and healing. Your future self will thank you.